Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, the content that we're going to cover tonight is all about the ever-evolving gun control debate that's happening in Washington between Democrats, Republicans, far-left Democrats, far-moderate Democrats. This is an ever-evolving situation, as I said, so make sure that you guys are fully subscribed, you have the notification bell turned on, and send this out to your friends and family who you think could be benefited from this, because we need to get them on board as well. I don't ever do this on my videos, but right now, this is the highest point of attention that we need to focus on since Biden was inaugurated. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to pass those blessings on to the next generation. Now, the article that I'd covered this morning and the video title was all around the Dems fracturing between the far left and the moderates. Well, interestingly enough, about 10 hours later, after I posted that video, we're going to cover a specific article in The Hill, which is all about a very similar thing, except the Democrats are positioning their constituents for a very low expectation, a very low bar. And if this was all about safety and common sense regulation, why would they be concerned about losing power in November around the midterms? Something we've covered really, really deeply. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to share this with you guys because this is about more than just what they say that it is, and that's what we do on this channel. I must say a quick word from our sponsor who made this weekend's videos possible, and then we're going to hit it hard on the other side. The sponsor for this weekend's videos is CF Moto. When it's time to get off the beaten path, there's no way better to engineer an escape than on a CF Moto machine. Since 1989, CF Moto has been a major supplier of engines, parts, and components for some of the biggest names in motorsports. Today, they are a major manufacturer in complete machines, motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides, with hundreds of thousands of vehicles sold all over the world. Ready to mix work and play? CF Moto machines provide an exciting adventure for the whole family, with over 500 dealerships in the U.S. making customer service a top priority. Riding without a compromise and in style has never been easier. And thank you to CF Moto for making this video possible. There's a link in the description if you want to find out more. But now, guys, let's dive into this. This is incredibly crucial because they're talking directly to their constituents. Now, the article we're going to cover is called Schumer Walks Tightrope in Gun Control Debate. Again, that's what we talked about this morning before this article even came out. Cutting edge, baby. All right, 528. Let's hear what I have to say, and I'm going to show you what they're really concerned about. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer from New York is walking a tightrope on gun control legislation after two more situations that have shaken the country and angered Democrats frustrated over inaction on guns, H.R. 8 and 1446. That's kind of what we touched on this morning. But listen to where they start making quotes and paying attention with the GOP and the Democrats in the election. While members of his caucus and progressive activists are pushing him to force the GOP to vote on an array of proposals, Schumer also wants to protect Democrats in tough races in purple states from taking tough votes. So, does that sound like someone who's all about what he's preaching? Does it sound like common sense gun reform is the most important thing there? Or does it sound like he's trying to protect his caucus from losing power to maintain his own job? If he's concerned about tough races in purple states and that's why he doesn't want to do something extreme, that seems like his motivation is a little bit more around self-preservation versus what he's claiming. Again, I'm not for I don't want any of the stuff that he wants, but what I'm saying is it's important to note. One Democratic senator who requested anonymity to discuss internal caucus dynamics said Schumer right now is closely attuned to the preferences of senators in a tough race who need to win to keep an evenly split Senate in Democratic hands. What? I thought this was about something else, but it turns out it's all about your power. They're setting the bar low. Keep in mind, these articles are written to Democratic constituents. This is in The Hill. Okay, let's keep going. Quote, there's a discussion in the caucus about whether to hold accountability votes, something we touched on this morning, and the people who are trying really hard to win tough races have a supermajority, the senator said. Again, anonymity, so they're trying to be honest. Here come the far left, which are pushing Democrats far left. Igor Volsky, my man Igor, the executive director of Guns Down America, noted that polls show expanded background checks and assault weapons bans are popular with voters. Quote, they're afraid because they have this absolutely bizarre notion that if you go hard on this issue, you animate the other side, and the other side comes out much louder than their side, he added. Well, history was a good lesson. That's exactly what happened. In fact, check out what Senator Gary Peters says, who's on the Democratic Election Committee. Senator Gary Peters of Michigan, who is leading the Democratic Senate campaign arm this cycle, said it makes sense to focus on legislation that can pick up GOP support and become law. So they're trying to moderate to the Republicans so they maintain their power in Congress. Quote, I think right now we just need to focus on trying to see if we can get some Republicans to support us on something common sense, he said. When asked about an assault weapons ban, Peters said, quote, I think that would be hard to get any Republican on that. Interesting. Quote, I think background checks is probably our best opportunity right now, or red flag legislation. Those two would be ones that I think we could get some Republican support and show we're making some progress. Again, it's all about showing voters things. It's about setting the bar very low. This is not about what they were talking about 4 days ago. Really important to understand because they're putting this stuff out so they understand, to their constituents understand what they're doing. One Democrat told The Hill this week that failed votes to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in 2013, quote, was a catastrophic failure because it gave Republicans the chance to go on offense in the gun control debate. Well, don't tell Igor that right above here where he said it's this bizarre notion that Republicans come out, even though this Democrat said that's what happened in 2013. Do you see the mathematical calculus that they're doing here? It's about votes and maintaining power. Got one more for you. Guns could be an integral part of the race in Arizona, where Senator Mark Kelly co-founded the Giffords Law Center to prevent gun violence. That's the husband of Kathy Giffords. It is named after Kelly's wife, former Gabby Giffords, who was seriously injured in a 2011 situation. Still, while Kelly has worked to curb gun violence, he's also been careful not to alienate voters who care about their Second Amendment rights. This is about their power. This entire article was written after we did a video this morning saying that Schumer is stuck between the progressives and the moderates. Now, the entire Democratic Party is saying you're giving preference to people in purple states because they have tough races, and they're sending this out to the Democratic constituents so they understand and they're reaching out to them. Don't be too upset when nothing happens. This is incredibly important to understand because we're starting to see these in more frequency, and that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments field below. Send this out. Get as many people as you can because we need to know this information. And I will see you tomorrow morning on the Bullet Points. I'm Braden. See you later.